Derek Overstreet, founder of the New Millennium Group. We're a financial planning firm. We have advisors standing by right now to take your call. 888-999-6370. The reason you're going to want to call is we're going to help you retire 3 to 5 years before you thought possible. The way we do this is by putting together a step-by-step plan. So if you're one of those people listening and you'd like a plan in writing, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or go to utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Some of the most meaningful jewelry you own isn't new. It's inherited. A ring from a grandmother, a necklace full of memories, but no longer your style. Duke's Jewelers reimagines family heirlooms into custom pieces you'll actually wear and love. Working one-on-one, Duke's designers honor the original story while creating something fresh and modern. Don't let meaningful jewelry sit unused. Let it live on beautifully. Visit Duke's Jewelers in Springville or online at dukesjewelers.com, where old stories become new treasures.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
Your home for the best sports coverage in Utah. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. Want to remind you about Hercules First Federal Credit Union, growing stronger together. Former radio bozo Doug Gottlieb is now the head basketball coach at University of Wisconsin-Green Bay.
Which finished third this year in the Horizon League behind powerhouse Wright State and Robert Morris, and just ahead of up-and-comer Detroit Mercy.
Okay. Christian's SUU.
I had no idea what league they played in or who was in the league.
SUU used to be in the Horizon League back in the day. Yeah, I mean, considering they won like 2 games the year before, I guess it's an improvement.
Yeah, he's doing okay.
I suppose. He did have to quit his radio show. I have not confirmed if he has a podcast still. Do not care. Do not know. I do not care.
Yeah.
But he was on with Colin Cowherd, and they started talking about AJ Dybantsa. And let's listen to those comments.
AJ Dybantsa probably today would go number 1.
First thing everybody should know is that if the Utah Jazz have the number 1 pick, they're taking AJ Dybantsa. How do I know? He went to Utah Prep, which is funded by Ryan Smith. He went to BYU, which is funded by Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith owns the Utah Jazz. If you want to call something tampering, there's never been a person that has ever been tampered with more than AJ Dybantsa to end up with the Utah Jazz. Ever, ever, ever in the history of anything. Everybody knows it. Everybody.
Yes, getting AJ to Utah and then getting AJ to go to BYU was certainly very closely aligned. That was not an accidental development. Now, people should know, not that anyone's listening to this internationally, I think, but where AJ played high school is not exactly in BYU's backyard.
No, it's in southern Utah.
It's in southern Utah, which is not the
Where is
south
it, Ivans?
Of a state in the east, and he comes from Massachusetts. But you talk about southern Massachusetts versus northern Massachusetts. What is it, 90 minutes?
Yeah,
Southern
right.
Utah to northern Utah is 5 or 6 hours. So it's not like he was necessarily close. The same way if a player played in, Miami and then said, well, I want to go to Georgia Tech. It's not like they're actually in each other's backyard. That's actually quite a haul. The state of Florida is disgusting, but it is very large also, and it's hard to get to. Utah is not closely in the backyard, though, yes, I do truly believe A.J. Dybantsa came to play at Utah Prep with an eye of going to BYU. I do think that was aligned.
Help me with this, and I'm asking legitimately. You throw around a word like tampering, and everybody goes, oh, tampering, that's bad. What is he accusing Ryan Smith of doing wrong?
I don't know if he actually is accusing Ryan Smith of doing anything wrong.
He's accusing him of tampering. I want to know.
Sure, if you think tampering's bad, and you're assuming that he's implying that tampering is bad. I don't know if Doug Gottlieb is implying that tampering is actually a bad thing, other than he does want it to be pointed out that this seems like this was set in motion from the time AJ was 17 years old.
But define tampering. What are you talking about? Can Mark Cuban not donate to the University of Indiana?
Right.
Can Miriam Adelson not contribute to UNLV's NIL? I'm serious. Can Ryan Smith not start I don't even know if he started it, but can he not start a basketball academy? Why is that? Again, like, what is he accusing him of? And I don't understand, because the NBA has this little thing called the draft. So
and the lottery.
So what is he accused? Like, what advantage has Ryan Smith given him? Establishing a relationship with a player that he might or might not be able to get 8 years from now? And what's wrong with that anyway?
No, here's kind of the
like, what if it was a GM instead of the owner? What if Danny Ainge goes to every basketball game played in the state? He's at like AA high school games. All of a sudden, Danny Ainge is there. Can he not have a relationship with a player or talk to a player, or is that tampering? I mean, I'm legitimately asking what he is accusing Ryan Smith of doing.
That's
wrong.
Let's start at the end here, and let's say it does happen where the Jazz end up with AJ Dybantsa, and it's gone through this entire process. This is one of the great coups of all time if you're Ryan Smith, in all honesty. Because we have talked about, like, how did the Cleveland Cavaliers win a championship? It just so happened that one of the greatest players of all time was born in their town. How crazy is that? Otherwise, Cleveland is never on the map. They never have Donovan Mitchell because nobody cares about the Cleveland Cavaliers because nobody cared about them before. LeBron got there. It just so happens. So actually, if the Jazz end up with AJ, and he's good, and it goes through this long process of him wanting to be here and happy to be here, and it coincides with going to BYU and going to Utah Prep, credit Ryan, because I'm sure a lot of owners would do that if they felt like they had an ability to do it. In fact, it probably has happened before. But yes, if you have the ability to do it straightforward, laying out the plan, I would say credit Ryan, because I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But I will tell you firsthand, not to reverse engineer it, but to go in order, like, I have sat at Jazz games where AJ Dybantsa is in attendance. And I know where Justin Zanuck sits, and I know where Ryan Smith sits, and I know where Danny Ainge sits, and I know what they're doing pregame, and I see where AJ is, and AJ's always with his dad, Ace. And when AJ comes out, they leave. Because they do not get to talk to players right now before the draft. And maybe they do it behind the scenes. Very possible they've done it at BYU. I don't know. But I do know that you can't actually talk to players before that. So some of these tampering rules that they're being accused of, the Jazz actually, at least forward-facing, are not tampering, I think, the way some people would read into based on what Doug Gottlieb is saying.
I just don't know what rule they have broken. And when does that rule go into effect? When can you not talk to a possible draft pick, and whose evaluation is it a draft pick? Like, can Ryan Smith talk to Kepa Keita?
Right.
I don't think he's on any draft boards. So, you know what? Because tampering in the NBA is a thing, right?
Of course.
You cannot talk to somebody who's under contract with another team, period. Right. That's tampering. He's not doing it. Tampering is a thing.
You certainly can't recruit him. You can talk to him, but you can't recruit them.
Tampering is a thing in college. You can't even talk about him. Magic Johnson got fined for making a comment on a late night show.
Paul George.
Because Paul George was under contract with another franchise. That's definable, and you understand what that is in the NBA. In college, tampering is a thing. You're not supposed to talk to another team's player. Now, it happens all the time, of course, but that is definable, and that's what that is.
Yeah.
Just because you own an NBA team, you cannot contribute to a basketball academy? You cannot contribute to a university? That's ridiculous.
And look, I actually don't know how much money Ryan Smith has or has not given to BYU.
I don't
He has
either.
Denied giving money to BYU. He has consistently deflected the recruiting efforts
He
of
hasn't
BYU.
denied giving money to BYU.
But
he's downplayed it.
When
He hasn't
has
denied
said,
it.
Like, he's been on this station when AJ Dybantsa committed, and he said, don't credit me. He said, credit everybody else. He said, this is everybody else's doing. Now, that might be in a way to deflect, yes, that he had a part in this or whatever part he played. I don't know what role he played in Utah Prep, to be honest with you, at all. I have no idea.
No, I don't know either. But I guarantee he's responsible for those Jazz tickets. Because you saw AJ at Jazz games. He didn't pay for those, I'm sure.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But it doesn't matter. These are the rules in college basketball. You can contribute to NIL. I don't care if he paid all of it.
Yeah.
I get why he wants to downplay it, because he doesn't want to be the face of it necessarily.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. And Doug Gottlieb wished Ryan Smith cared about Wisconsin Green Bay.
Sure, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Who's the owner of the Bucks? You think if the Bucks owner was pouring money into old Duggar's program, he would be complaining about somebody else tampering?
Yeah.
That's the funny part.
No, of course not.
Of course not.
No, you would take it.
But I don't think Ryan Smith's doing anything wrong. I don't know. Maybe you know the rules a little bit better than I do, and I guess they're being sensitive about it, but he's not doing a dang thing wrong.
No, I think the Jazz have been very smart about how they're doing it.
Honestly, this is where it's headed. Sooner or later, we're going to get to the European soccer model where you're going to start developing players at these academies, and that the NBA is going to own and run it from the top down. That's the direction that this whole thing is going. Sorry, high school sports, but
well,
it's on its way out.
It does already exist. It's called the AAU circuit, but it's not the professional teams that own it. It's the shoe companies that own it.
Yep.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
And the NBA teams are going to say, why are we letting Nike and Adidas and Reebok decide all of these things? Why are we letting them get in the middle of this? And I know they contribute a lot of money, but we don't want them to control where Donovan Mitchell goes to college or where AJ Dybantsa goes to college. We don't want them to have a say. We want to have a say. And it's not going to be based on the shoes you liked when you were 15 years old anymore. It's going to be based on what we think and how we can recruit you. And yes, I think that is going to happen.
I think that's where we're going. And that's, you know what, that's fine. I may be a little uncomfortable with the prospect. I'm sure college basketball and high school basketball, I'm sure they both hate it. But I think we already see it with RSL, right? And honestly, my opinion with solving the tanking problem, just get rid of the draft. Go to this system where you've got to go discover players and develop them and put them in your academy and do all that stuff. I mean, if you really want to fix tanking, that's a way to fix tanking. How do you get the best players? Well, you develop them. You know, Rudy Gobert went to a basketball academy when he was 12. Uh-huh. And that's how they do it in Europe. And it's the way we're going to end up doing it here.
It's how they do it in the NHL. I mean, it's not like it's foreign to American soil either. You have host families that you will go live with in the city, and you play with their teams, and you get an understanding. And the Mammoth are going to start doing this. Now, you still have to go through the draft, and there is a lottery, which does not mean you're going to necessarily end up with your team. But there are players that work their way up through entire systems based on the city they started. You know, it absolutely has to happen. So it will eventually happen in the NBA as well, and I do think you're right. Now, the NBA may try to crack down on this. They may try and stop it if they can find some straight line. But as you said, the stopgap here is the Jazz are going to have at best a 10% chance of getting AJ Dybantsa in the draft. You know, a 1 in 10 chance.
Oh, not even close to 1 in 10. There's I don't know, Ben, way less than that. If he's going to be the number 1 pick, the Jazz
will
aren't
have
getting
a 10% chance. If the Jazz right now finish with the 5th worst record, the lottery balls say they have a 10% chance. Now, the other thing I would say here is if AJ goes number 1 to the Jazz, guys, AJ's going number 1 regardless. AJ's going to be the number 1 overall pick. Like, I actually don't think that's going to be that big of a mystery by the time we get to the draft. And you're going to hear stuff about, oh, this team likes Cam Boozer. Oh, this team really likes Darren Peterson. And this is interesting because we always like to drum up drama at the last minute. You know, there was, again, as you talked about the late, like, what if Scoot Henderson jumps Wemby at the last minute? Like, I actually think by the time we get to the draft, it's going to be pretty obvious that AJ is going to be the number 1 player. I thought he was the best player in college basketball this year. He and Cam Boozer, and he's got a better pro prospect than Cam Boozer does because of his size. So I think those are going to be benefits for him. This is not, because this clip actually goes on and says that, you know, hell or high water, the Jazz would draft AJ over any prospect that could be in this draft.
That's everybody.
Yeah, that's everybody. Correct. That's going to be everybody. That's not just the Utah Jazz, and that's not the Jazz being lazy. I mean, AJ's that level of player.
Man, I don't like Doug Gottlieb.
I'm not a Doug Gottlieb guy either. Again, say no to Doug's. But him trying to crack in here like it's something controversial, I think is probably a little bit misguided. Yeah, and, oh man, if you think BYU recruiting a player to play at a local high school is the first time this has ever happened,
is that what it is? Is that it's BYU?
I do think that is part of it. I do think it's
because everybody goes, why would this guy go to BYU? And so there has to be something nefarious. This is all above board.
Yeah, correct. And go back, look at, you know who did this? Udoka Azubuike. Udoka Azubuike comes over from Africa and is getting recruited by colleges because he's discovered, and every college wants Udoka to go play at their high school locally.
Yep.
So he goes to their college. Like, AJ came from Massachusetts, right? That's where he's from?
Yep.
Udoka came from Africa.
Yeah.
Like, this is happening. This has been happening for a long time. AJ coming to Utah to end up at BYU was not exactly the most tampering. It just turned out that Udoka Azubuike stunk, and AJ's actually really good. You know,
well, Doak was good in college. I mean,
he was. He was a very good
Big
college
12 player of the year.
Yeah, he was.
Can't turn up your nose at that.
Correct.
Charlie Ward didn't play in the NFL, but he still won the Heisman.
Yes. He's a good NBA player.
Average NBA player. Pretty cool that he was a two-sport guy, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure.
But I get your point. No, that happens. I mean, talk to basically any high school coach out there. They'll either have stories or they have their own connections where in Europe, or in this case Africa, but the agents in Europe will bring their players over and stash them in high schools depending on their college programs. It's commonplace.
Yeah, it happens.
But, yeah, I don't know what he's complaining about. I just don't get it. Tampering? Is he really tampering? Or is he paying a college athlete, which he can? Again, I don't know. Can Mark Cuban not contribute to Indiana basketball?
I don't know. I know I can look at the tweets because we've written the article. I believe Brian wrote this article, and he embedded a tweet from Ryan Smith. And Ted Farron on Twitter, who I don't know who that is, says, BYU's going to a whole new level with you making this happen. He tweets at Ryan. And Ryan Smith says, love the passion, but for your information, I can't take credit. I'm not the donor here. Outside of buying tickets to BYU games, I don't give any money to AJ I didn't give any money to bring AJ to BYU. Got to give credit where credit's due. And that's all Kevin Young.
Is that a money's fungible kind of thing?
Well, because
I don't believe that Ryan is not contributing to BYU athletics or BYU basketball or whatever. I don't.
Well, this was why I was very skeptical about Morgan Scally out of nowhere donating $2 million to the Utah program. It's like, well, maybe X donor can't donate directly or whatever it is. Maybe Ryan Smith can't donate directly to BYU, but he can help fund Kevin Young's contract. And if Kevin Young then says, well, I've got this money and I'm going to turn around to invest in NIL, and that's not what I'm saying happened here. But there are loopholes to find ways for guys to get money.
$10 million, but it was for new seats.
Yeah, for arena expansion.
Yeah, right.
But we also had another $10 million.
But then we took that dough and we gave it to AJ. Yeah, that feels like a money is fungible kind of thing. Totally. He shouldn't have to hide from it. I honestly don't think he's doing anything wrong.
Yeah. Well, unless the NBA draws a very straight line that says, college players in your state can't go to your school or go to your basketball team. Yeah, I don't know why it would be an issue, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I understand why you'd want to downplay it, but I don't know why you'd run from it. Who cares?
And again, AJ has to go through the draft.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way for the Jazz to really tamper with getting him to Utah.
No, he's under contract basically for the first 7 years of his career, wherever he's drafted.
Yeah.
So that's the long game. Good for you. But I don't know if I'd call that. I don't think he's doing anything wrong. I really don't.
Now, I do think there is a bit of a clandestine effort by Ryan to bring players through Utah before they get to the NBA to establish that, like, hey, I know Doug Gottlieb thinks Utah's crazy. I know there's this reputation that Utah's crazy. Utah's not that crazy. And the truth is Utah is not that crazy. No. It's not that different compared to most states. Salt Lake City is a lot of mid-level cities across the country, and it has its quirks, as does every single city. But I do think there is an effort by people, especially Ryan, to establish that, like, Utah's fine.
Well,
and you would be fine if you lived here.
We have disadvantages here in Utah, and we certainly have some wacky laws that aren't necessarily my favorite. But the way that the laws are set up for schools and charter schools and all that stuff, we are pretty, I don't want to say unique because there are other states like it, but we're really able to create these academies. And you can look back to the U.S. ski team and the U.S. ski team academy that's been here since the 80s. My friend Amber that's where she went to high school, where it's a school.
It's a
you go
academy.
To school.
European style.
But the idea is to develop U.S. ski team skiers or whatever. And so we've been doing that for a very long time. And the way that our laws are set up, it's easy to set up these basketball academies or RSL academy or whatever the case may be. So if we have that advantage, Ryan can play it. Why not?
No, that's the other part of this.
Or not even Ryan. Or we can play it. Attract basketball talent to the state. What's the one down in Utah County? Not the one AJ went to, but the other one. Wasatch Academy?
Wasatch Academy. Yeah.
Pumping out dudes.
Yep.
Why not? Attracting people from all over the country to come here and play basketball. Why is that a bad thing?
And look, we cover the Jazz, and you and I are both close to the Jazz. Me as a writer, you do in the pre, half, and post-game shows. But I don't think that's why we're saying this. If this works for Ryan, good for him.
It's his money. I don't care.
Yeah, if this ends up being a way that he gets a star player to Utah, again,
eventually.
Yeah, teams have taken advantage of that. Cleveland has taken advantage of having LeBron James in Cleveland. It really helped them. And they still had to get luck to get the number 1 overall pick to be able to draft him that year. Now, they positioned themselves and they tanked to make sure that they could have a chance to draft him, but it did work out. It's not the first time this has happened. Maybe this direct route, it's possible, but no, certainly not the first team to take advantage of an opportunity of having a player locally.
Utah State has a new head coach, Ben.
Okay.
He had a press conference this morning.
Okay.
We'll let you hear it coming up next.
Okay.
Stay tuned. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
These guys have got you covered.
Time to eat, fellas.
You're locked on to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
1, 2, 3, move it.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Joined Scotty G today from noon to 3 at Tim Daly Mazda in Sandy, 10785 South Auto Mall Drive. Go hang out with our guy, Scotty G.
I like Scotty.
Yeah, Scotty's the best, dude. Scott, I wonder who his friends are today. Are you his friend today?
I'm Scotty's friend every day.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Well, you mean on the radio?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I don't think so. Nobody's asked me.
Speaking of Scotty G, he moonlights as the voice of your Utah State Aggies.
Yep.
And the Aggies have a new coach. He's Ben Jacobson. He was introduced today up in Logan at a press conference. Said he's worn a suit, the same suit, 3 times in the last several days, and it's the first time in like 6 years he's worn a suit.
Okay.
Which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah.
My type of dude. But here, let's play. We're going to try to get to all of it, but it's about 12 minutes. But as you get to know, the newest Utah State basketball coach here has been Jacobson.
This is special, and Cam mentioned it a couple times, and I'll get to it in my remarks. But it's special because of you guys sitting right there in row 2. Right? This is why we do it. Okay, this is why I do it for you guys that are sitting right there. I appreciate you being here this morning, but just understand this is about you guys. Okay, I'm going to start with some thank yous if that's okay. President Mortensen and Camille, thank you. Thank you for taking time the half hour to come down and see me. That meant a lot to me, right? And in the process and in making this decision that you would take time to do that. So thank you. Cam and your staff, Ike, Emily, and Carter, you guys have been great. You can feel the energy and the camaraderie, and wanted to make sure I was able to be a part of that. And I think that most of you understand this, and I'm getting to Cam. This guy's got a plan, doesn't he? And he's not afraid to share it. He's not afraid to talk about his vision and all of the places that we can go. And I appreciate that about you, Cam. And I can't wait to start knocking those off. Okay, really appreciate your trust in me. Our football coach and Holly came down to dinner the other night. That meant a lot to Don and I to get a chance to do that. Look forward to building that relationship. Thanks, Coach, for being there. My wife Dawn is here this morning, and we've got 2 boys. Hunter's 22 years old. Tanner's 20 years old. Hunter was on our team for 4 years and just finishing up his career. He's going to student teach and then be a GA. And I tried to get him out here, but he's pretty tied to that Cedar Falls community. And then Tanner's over at the University of Nebraska, going to business school over there. And their support, some of the conversations that we had over the last 5 or 6 days have just been tremendous. Obviously, their support means a lot to me. But really proud of those 2 guys, and so grateful and thankful, Don, for what we're doing. Yep. Thanks. My mom and dad, I've got 3 brothers and a sister. Mom and dad, they've been great. I'm gonna tell you, it's been like one of the wildest rides. Hey, I'm 55 years old, and 2 brothers are close to me, and one's about 10 years younger, and then our sister's the youngest. And growing up in our house, it's okay to dream big. And if you wanted something bad enough, you just got to work for it a little bit, and you can get it. And then just treat people good. Be good to people, right? And treat people well. So those things were with us the entire time, and they've stayed with me in my coaching. And then two guys that have meant the most to me in basketball is my head coach, Rich Glass, at the University of North Dakota, and Greg McDermott was my assistant coach at that time, and most recently, Coach Mack was at Creighton. And I think as basketball people, we all understand what's happened at Creighton and everything that they have done. And those two have meant a lot to me. They taught me that this isn't about offense and defense. This is about relationships, right? And building those and having them be in a place where you're able to accomplish special things. So I really appreciate about those two guys. And then the University of Northern Iowa, right? When, as the president mentioned, being at a place for a long time. When you stay somewhere for a long time, that of course would indicate that it's a special place. They awfully good to Don and I and our family, but just a really special place. I want to thank them today. So why after 20 years, 25 years, what is it? What are we so excited about, and why am I standing here right now? It's I said it, but it's row 2, right? To be able to take on this challenge with you guys and the way in which you've done it already. Okay, so we were the next game, right? After your game with Villanova, and we were standing right there when you guys came off that floor, and the excitement. And of course, after you win an NCAA tournament game, right, there's going to be a little bit of excitement. You're going to be bouncing around a little bit, but you could feel the camaraderie, right? And feel the excitement. And I wanted to be part of that. Cam laid out, and we know it. The tremendous success that we have had here, and you can look at the numbers and you can read them and you can see all of the different things, and wanting to be a part of that, very exciting as well. And what a place to do it, right? Our gymnasium, what a place to do it. I'm going to make sure I get it right. 117 and 21 over the last 9 seasons in our gymnasium. So what a place to be able to do it. And I know a lot of that has to do with the herd. I've watched a lot. I've been told a lot. So it's okay if you guys want to hoot and holler for just a second. Like, I would love to hear a little bit of the herd right now. And I'm excited about doing more, right? About the challenge ahead of us with the Pac-12, right? And challenging the herd to, not right now, but when we get back in there, being louder and doing more. And I'll challenge the guys when I get to that point. And one of those, and I said it we had a brief Zoom call. One of those things I talked about was, okay, that first weekend in the NCAA tournament, that's special, right? But there's a next weekend, right? And there's a next weekend after that. And what does that feel like, right? The excitement of that, with the new league and with our leadership and with this group. What does that next weekend look like and feel like, right? Fortunate to have been there as a head coach, right? And want to do that together. There's a ton of excitement in that. I get most excited about people, right? All of you in this room, everything you've done for Utah State, continue to do. Our president, Cam, the guys in the team, that's what I get most excited about. I just touched on it in terms of what I'm looking forward to. I've said this a lot. You're going to hear me say it again. I absolutely love coaching. I love coaching. The only thing I love more is being part of a team. I don't know a time for me when I have not been part of a team, right? And that responsibility that comes with it, counting on the guy or gal next to you, right? And knowing that you're being counted on, right? Man, I love doing this, right? And I'm as excited and ready as I've ever been. Probably the most ready that I have been in my head coaching career. But I love being a part of a team. There is nothing more special than being part of a team. And I look forward to doing that with everybody. Partnering with the community in the Cache Valley, supporting our other teams, being on campus, getting with everybody and being there for each other as head coaches. That's something I'm really looking forward to. And then the vision laid out by Cam, right? I don't know that that I make this move at this time, if not for the vision that Cam had, right? The things that we are talking about doing, right? And then knowing, really important for me to know his plan, right? and that we can get that done. And obviously the Pac-12, fellas, let's go get it, huh? There's a lot of excitement. I'm really looking forward to what's ahead for us in the new Pac-12, okay, and what that means and what that challenge is going to be like. Okay, let's go get that thing. And I'll wrap it up with you guys, okay? And I mentioned this briefly again on that Zoom call. This is your program, okay? This is your program. The programs only thrive with leadership by the players, okay? Player-led programs. This is your program, right? I'm here to help you. This is your program. We're going to build relationships that extend far beyond hoops, right? Far beyond hoops. The things that you talked about, family, trust, real conversations, okay, that's coming, okay, fellas? Far beyond hoops. Basketball, fast and physical, right? And we're going to play, this is the part, right? Everybody stands up here and says we're going to play 1,000,000 miles an hour, right? As a head coach, fast and physical. Right? We've been doing it for a long time, right? Defensively, we're gonna get in your way and we're gonna fight you. Right? The individual battles, defensive rebounding. We've been in the top 20 in the country. Defensive rebounding percentage for most of the last 10 years. That piece of it's really important to us. It's really important to me. So we're going to fight you on that end. Right? But when we secure that rebound, man, it's all about the energy of the basketball. Right? Hey, we got to go. Right? And we've got to get that basketball moving, and we've got to get into the front court, and we've got to play. And I really look forward to that part with you guys. I can't wait to get to this afternoon. I've had this suit on 3 times in the last 6 days, okay, in this same tie. And I'm glad it worked, right? We're here together, right? But I haven't had it on that many times in the last 6 years. So, I cannot wait to get to this afternoon. And the reason being that we get together. Okay, guys? We get together. And
All right, there you go. Ben Jacobson, the new head coach at Utah State.
I'm excited to see the new Pac-12. I'm excited to see what that looks like. Obviously bringing Gonzaga in is a huge coup, but Utah State's has a good history itself, and we'll see what Ben Jacobson can do there.
Okay. Got a little Mr. Mackey going.
He does. He's got some K's and some all rights that he likes to sprinkle in every 6th or 7th word there.
Okay.
But It should be fun. It's a good opportunity for Utah State. It's a good opportunity for them to jump in. And look, it's a little spread out. It's a little bizarre. It's doing the same thing that the ACC has done because they have to go and travel and play at Northern Illinois and then Gonzaga. Those might be a road trip, and those are nearly opposite sides of the country. But should be a cool conference.
I agree. Stay tuned. We have an update.
Okay.
We have an update to the Dan Hurley headbutt thing. Apparently, old Danny, Ben's guy, went on a podcast to talk about what happened. Mm-hmm. So we'll get to that coming up next. But let's give away some tickets right now. Go ahead, Sean.
It's Jazz Ticket Tuesday, and your chance to win tickets is right now.
Call this number now.
Be caller number 12 at 801-575-ZONE. 801-575-ZONE. And you'll be on your way to Delta Center to see the Utah Jazz.
He fires the 3. He hits! Oh, don't do me like that.
This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Caller 12 right now, you're going to go see the Jazz and the Nuggets coming up tomorrow at Delta Center, 801-575-ZONE, 801-575-ZONE. Update from Dan Hurley coming up next. Stay tuned, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Every day, the world gets a little weirder and a lot more awesome. Cool Stuff Daily takes a look at everything from mining in space to the latest in the fight against cancer to how AI is, basically changing everything. It's all the cool stuff you didn't know you needed to know. Join us for Cool Stuff Daily as we take a quick look at science, tech, and the wait, what stories that make you sound way smarter at dinner. Subscribe to Cool Stuff Daily now because the future's happening fast and it's way too fun to miss.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did you have to fight a dragon?
Nope, she bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
Two amigos on the airwaves, talking sports. They got it made drinks and all.
This is for the Jake and Ben show. I knew immediately when I saw the Dan Hurley clip that you guys were going to be talking about this, and I could not wait for your takes, and you're as riled up as I thought you would be. One of the things that you guys didn't touch on is, it should have been a technical, and Dan Hurley is a psycho. I can only speak for myself. Somebody comes up to me and headbutts me like that and tries to pull that thing. I don't care what job I have. I'm throwing hands. Like, that's just, as apart from a head coach being psycho, if you're just acting like that, what that says about you as a person is just absolutely ridiculous. But have a great week, guys.
Like that?
Daniel, thank you. You can always use the call-in feature of the KSL's on the KSL Sports app like Daniel did right there.
I want to clarify
Hey, don't
something.
get in Daniel's face.
that?
If you put your head in my face, I will absolutely not swing on you. I will back down so quickly and cowardly like. Yeah, I will. You will take everything I own if you put your face in my face.
Oh, I'm kicking the groin kind of guy.
Okay, knee to the groin.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, you fight dirty. Or
yes.
Bite his nose off or something. What do you need me to do, Sean? Sorry.
Like the penguin.
Want to remind you can win big on Wednesdays with Win Ticket Wednesday on the KSL Sports Zone, which is tomorrow. Tomorrow you can win tickets to go see Weezer with the Shins and Silver Sun pickup at the Maverick Center September 15th. Pre-sale begins at 10 a.m. Next Thursday with the code WEMAV26 at livenation.com. That's WEMAV26. Get your tickets today. Next Thursday. And listen to the KSL Sports Zone all day tomorrow for your chance to win.
Good news for you quickly. I know we're going to touch on something else here. The Hall of Fame, the Basketball Hall of Fame class of 2026 has been announced. Includes your guy, Glenn Doc Rivers. He's finally making it. I thought he was in already, to be honest with you. And this is kind of the weird one, and this is my real knock on the NBA. And it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not the NBA Hall of Fame. Amari Stoudemire's going in. Is Amari Stoudemire like a Hall of Famer? When we think of baseball, we think of football.
No.
Like, Amari was the Hall of very, very good. Really good player.
Neither is Glenn. Before we leave, can we play the Dan Hurley sound before?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that was what we were setting up here.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. It just came out.
Dan Hurley was on, what is this, a podcast, Sean? Some sort of podcast? The Triple Option Podcast. And he was asked about what Daniel was ranting about. What we were ranting about yesterday, Psycho Dan Hurley and the headbutt. Here you go.
Really, at that point in the game, we had it won. And he's such an easy guy to work with during the game that I thought he was coming over to chest bump me to celebrate the shot. Because it's not like that for me with him. Like my experience with him has been, we haven't won every game. I haven't agreed with every call, but so that was in no way was that like me and a ref that I had been at their throat the whole game. Like other points in the game where I had my arm around them, walking out of the timeout. We were cracking jokes and laughing. With that situation. Now the one at Marquette, when I was on my man's neck, screaming into his neck, that was a guy that's like coming right up to the line and losing his mind. But that was more like the emotion of the shot. And this is a cool ass ref guy. I just like was.
Were you guys sharing the moment together?
No, he was just coming up to tell me, it's 0.3.
Oh,
I think there's going to be 0.3 or 0.4 on the clock is what he was saying to me. And I was still so hyped from the shot going in that I was like, like.
Liar. Or fire the ref.
One of those defenses where it's like, I don't think that makes it better, dude. You mean you're pals with the refs? So that's why he was coming up to celebrate with you. So that makes it better. So he didn't call the technical foul because he's your buddy?
Yeah, because you thought he was coming. You thought it would be there was a chance that he would come up and celebrate with
and
you.
And chest bump with you? That doesn't make it better, Dan.
It doesn't. It's worse for the NCAA. I'm pretty upset if I'm Duke.
And honestly, if you mean mug the guy while you headbutt him, is a technical foul. I don't care if you go to dinner afterwards or you were his best man.
Right. You and I, we do the show well together. We enjoy each other. If I get in your face, that's not okay.
Like, that doesn't excuse anything. First of all, he did it, so that, by definition, he should have gotten a technical foul.
Yeah.
You cannot touch the ref. Second of all, it wasn't like you were smiling in his face.
Correct.
You were absolutely taking an intimidating stance.
Him, yep.
But then the defense being that you guys are best buds is not a defense.
We were joking.
That doesn't make it any better.
I had my arm around him coming out of a timeout.
You went to celebrate with your best friend, the referee?
I don't think so. I don't think you get to say that.
Now, the guy at Marquette, I hate that guy, but this dude rigs games for me all the time. That just leads me to believe he did have money on the game.
Yeah, they did race a 19-point second half deficit.
Damn, don't headbutt me, bro. I got $500 on this thing. That didn't make it better at all.
And it sounded like he knew he messed up. And he's like, how am I going to cover for this?
I wish they would have called that technical foul so bad.
It would have been great. It would have been an all-time great development.
He should be Chris Webber. He should be, you blew it with the all-time buffoon decision because you are a psycho. And not that Chris Webber is a psycho. He just made a mistake. But, I mean, goes down in history.
This would have been far more egregious than Chris Webber not knowing they didn't have a timeout.
Right.
And getting a technical foul for calling it when they didn't.
Basically losing the game. You know what everybody ignores about that, though, is that he absolutely traveled before he called that timeout. Yeah. But anyway, I do not find Dan Hurley's explanation satisfactory. Kind of one of those Steve Sarkisian things where he was defending his, baby? Yeah. And he was like, I took some medication that mixed with the alcohol. And it's like, by saying it's not the booze, it's the booze and the pills, doesn't make it.
Correct.
That doesn't make it understandable or better in any way. Or to say like, I didn't headbutt him. He's my best bud.
Or Sark's explanation about lighting up that TV kid who was like holding
the security guy,
the security guard holding text. And it's like, none of your explanations matter. Dan Hurley, the explanation actually doesn't matter.
No,
the action matters.
You headbutted.
You got into a ref's face and headbutted him, whether you thought he was celebrating with you, or whatever happened, which I don't believe what he's saying.
How many refs celebrate with a coach?
0. Ever. Never happened.
I hope not.
It better not happen.
It better not happen.
Especially not in the Elite Eight.
I thought he was going to chest bump me. You did?
So, no, it doesn't make any sense. It makes the ref actually look worse. It doesn't make me feel better about Dan Hurley. So, Dan, don't talk anymore. I'm sure that's what the NCAA is saying. I'm sure that ref is saying, Dan, what are you doing? You're making me look like I was in on it. Maybe I am in on it, but you can't out me that I'm in on it with you. But yeah, I don't believe him.
Because now it looks like the ref didn't make a call for his buddy.
Correct. And I just think he's lying.
Well, he didn't really look at the ref like he was his buddy.
Correct. No. He didn't say, can you believe this? He didn't say, wow, how about that shot? He didn't hold his hands up. He looked down on you.
Got in his face.
The way you look at a child.
I can't believe that.
Made a huge mistake.
What a moron. Man, he just gets away with it, too. And then he can go and have a couple of giggles on a podcast and everybody moves on.
Yep.
Well, it's a good gig if you can get it, I guess. Damn early. I hope UConn loses. Who do they play? They play Illinois.
They get the easier draw.
Go Illini.
Not that I think Illinois is an easy draw. I think Illinois is probably as good or maybe a better team than UConn. But certainly they're happy to be on that side of the bracket versus having to play Arizona and Michigan, which are dynamite teams.
Can you imagine how unbearable it would be to be that guy's like personal assistant?
No, I can't.
Or somebody he perceives as like beneath him.
Coaching assistant job is a very difficult one. You're at the beck and call constantly of people who live a very difficult lifestyle. And so you're always on and you always have to be accountable and available. And then if the coach on top of it is a psycho, that must be really difficult. Last night we talked to Will Hardy and Kenny Atkinson, and they both seem very well-adjusted people. And even then, I'm sure their lifestyle is insane and is probably difficult to be, the Jazz coaching assistant, whoever the Cavs coaching assistant is, and, having to answer to them whenever they need something. But if the guy you worked for, the person you worked for was, Dan Hurley or Kim Mulkey, how difficult was that?
Oh, awful.
Yeah.
Kim Mulkey. Although I'd like to be her tailor.
Just do whatever.
I'd like to be her. You could be really creative.
Just dress her up in whatever you got.
Really creative. Yeah. Can you, I can't remember if we talked about this on the air or off the air. LSU's 3 major coaches now are Will Wade, Lane Kiffin, and Kim Mulkey.
It's the Three Stooges.
Can you imagine being the athletic director trying to manage those 3?
I bet being a fan is very funny. I bet it's very enjoyable
hilarious
right now.
I bet
they're
they're
the 3 biggest lunatics.
Dude, sports radio in Baton Rouge / New Orleans is loving it.
It's a good time.
It's a good time.
Yeah. Crazy coaches is easy radio.
Did you see that Will Wade basically gave the same introductory press conference, almost word for word, that he did at North Carolina State?
Just chat, GPT, copy and paste.
Same thing?
Yeah. Just switch out the names. Kobe Bryant. Or no, it was Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. Same introduction.
Way to go, Nico.
So,
what's Nico doing now?
Did you see Mark Cuban was making fun of him over the weekend?
I did. Well, the most notable thing about that, I thought, was that he said he regretted selling the team, not selling it, but selling it to the Adelsons, which he's still a member of the ownership group.
Yeah. The Nico Harrison aspect quickly was somebody photographed Nico flying coach. Like he was at an airport, just kind of sitting with like the normal everybody waiting to get on board, and they were saying, you used to fly a private jet with the Mavericks, which was Mark Cuban's private jet. Mark notoriously has this big plane and lets everyone use it, and now he has to fly coach because he got fired for trading Luka. But yes, Mark Cuban said he doesn't regret selling the team. He regrets that he sold it to the family that he did, which he thought he was going to have a bigger role and continue to be at least a representative of the team at the Board of Governors, and they said, no. And so, he said he regrets that.
Well, the same things happened to Jeannie in L.A. eventually.
I'm curious how many people regret selling the team. I'm curious if the Millers, if you got them on some truth serum, if they would say they regret selling the team, the Jazz to Ryan Smith. Certainly, what's his name in Minnesota regrets selling the Timberwolves to Laurie and A-Rod. Now, that was because he sold them for a quarter of the price.
Yeah.
But a lot of owners, I do think, regret selling after they lose the team.
No, I have no idea, but I don't know. Based on the large pivot that the Millers did as an entire company, I would guess they don't regret it.
They may not. I saw Gail at the game yesterday. I don't know Gail, but she is still absolutely taking part and goes to the games and seems to really celebrate the team still, which I really think she's done an amazing job.
I get it that they're trying to get back into sports. They buy RSL and Major League Baseball and all that, but they wouldn't have the dough to do any of that if they didn't sell the Jazz.
Right. But I wonder if they want to get back into it because they no longer have the Jazz.
Yeah. Scotty G and friends coming up next. Jake and Ben. We'll talk to you tomorrow on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, I'm Josh Spiegel, host of the podcast Lunatic in the Newsroom. If you enjoy journalism that drifts into mild panic, wild overthinking, and a guaranteed nervous breakdown, Lunatic in the Newsroom is for you. It's news like you've never heard before. The only newsroom with a panic button. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and gasp in horror as the show spirals completely out of control. It's not just news, it's emotionally unstable. Lunatic in the Newsroom. Listen today.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did you have to fight a dragon?
Nope. She bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.